I genuinely don't understand why we haven't gotten a rotating sensor yet. Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Sergio and I'm a commercial photographer here in Victoria, BC, and I've been shooting long enough to have a few complaints about the camera industry world and the market in general, and I want to spend this video coming up with a few of the features or inventions or maybe pieces of camera tech that we should have had yesterday. And that very first being a rotating or articulating or at least a vertical sensor. Now I know with drones we can have certain cameras that are able to rotate the sensor, but with modern DSLRs and just cameras we're used to seeing like you and I use, why don't we have a sensor that can rotate at the press of a button? It would be so much easier for all of the jobs that we're doing nowadays instead of having gimbals that can rotate the camera or all of these little ways to grip a camera vertically. It would be nice to just be able to have a sensor that rotates. And furthermore, if we're going that route, why don't we have an articulating sensor as well? Something that can give us that bellows movement or give us a little bit of throw in the upper right quadrant or something like that. Let us move the sensor around. Is that far-fetched of an idea? Like, I feel like film camera, like large format film cameras are able to do that with the bellows. I guess it's not really the camera that's doing it, but the fact that you can move the sensor around in relation to the lens, I feel like it should be something that we're able to do with modern day cameras. Now, I understand that this video is going to sound a little bit like, I'm unhappy with what we have today. This is totally perfectly fine. I'm trying to idealize a world where, art imitates life, and maybe one day smart people in life will imitate the art that we're dreaming up, kind of like Star Trek and FaceTime. Next up, something that we don't already have and has bled into other niches and other hobbies, let's say, but not quite photography. I guess photography is not popular enough. But there is no such thing, at least to my knowledge, maybe editing, Sergio can correct me, but there's no such thing as a left-handed camera. Why is every single piece of camera equipment made specifically for right-handed people? Why is every trigger with your right index finger, always, no matter what? Now, I don't know if there's people who are crazy with 3D printers that have created these like left-handed trigger buttons or whatever. Maybe in the video world it's a little bit more common. But in like the photography specific DSLR world, like, why can't we have a camera that we just, or you know what, maybe someone can like Jimi Hendrix it and like put it upside down and they like shoot with like their left pinky or something, and they just use the camera upside. That would work just as easily. That could be, if you're that person, let me know down in the comments. That would be pretty cool, actually. But no, just having like a trigger on the left hand, or just maybe some people don't have a right hand. For as silly as that sounds, I know we can put things on a tripod and use trigger releases and things, but like, why don't we have a left-handed style camera? We have left-handed guitars. I know there's a lot of instruments that don't like, we don't have a trombone for people who are left-handed. I guess there's that, but for the most part there's a lot of things that cater to right and left-handed people, and I think the camera market is pretty big and large enough that it would be neat to have camera bodies that don't look identical to one another. Maybe something with color and something with, like, just give me something that's a little bit different from one camera to the next, whether that's a right-handed or a left-handed body. I think it would be pretty neat. And how much harder can it really be in terms of internals? I understand how maybe it's a little silly from a business perspective, like why would we invest in double the body with the same sensor or whatever, but I don't know, I think it would be a nice market to cater towards, or at least it would be nice to be catered towards if I was in that market. This next one's not really a new modern thing. It's maybe just like adding on to something we already have, but why don't we have built-in flash triggers to all of our professional DSLR bodies? Not necessarily for every single light on the market, but having like a Profoto or a Broncolor built-in trigger would probably go a very long way. What's wrong with having an R5 with a high-end lighting trigger built into it? Like, sure, maybe, I guess you're losing out some features on being able to control all the lights individually. That's why you need a separate monitor or anything like that. But just the ability to fire a flash, even if it's just in slave mode, I think would be very beneficial for a lot of working pros. And furthermore, why are all of the pop-up flashes reserved specifically for entry-level cameras. I know you're like, oh, well, that's because it's an entry-level look. That's like so amateur and so easy to do, but like there's a way to do it at a high-end commercial level as well. It would be nice to have these high-end cameras with a cheap, low-end style on-camera flash look. Even if it's not something that we use professionally, we're often using these cameras in non-professional settings. I bring this camera all the time when my parents are in town or what have you. I'm walking around with this thing. Wouldn't it be fun to have a film camera that also shoots digital? And I guess, yeah, you can think of like a medium format camera with like a digital back and then a film back, and you can swap between the two of them. I guess you can do that with like a Mamiya 645. But it would be nice to have just an all-in-one, oh, I feel like shooting this one on film. Boom. Oh, you know what? I ran out of film. Let's swap to the digital sensor and shoot a few frames that way. I think it would be really fun and really neat, and maybe make for a very large camera that is unwieldy and maybe wouldn't sell very well. But I think it would be fun to have a modern day film camera with all of the current bells and whistles that we have on all the fun digital cameras that we've got, and put that in a film, or at least on a film sensor, and being able to capture all of that crisp, fast autofocus or whatever, just whatever it is that we're able to push with our, digital cameras, but on a film, more primitive style look. Don't get me wrong, film cameras from 2003 are absolutely phenomenal, but give them an extra 20 years of innovation, and who knows, maybe we'd be able to create even more things that we weren't able to create 30 years ago. I think it would just be a fun toy, and hell, if we're playing with fun toys at that point, let's just throw on an articulating sensor on that one, and a built-in flash trigger, and an on-camera flash as well, and whatever. Oh, maybe a left-handed grip for the when I feel like shooting with my left hand. So get on that, Canon, Nikon, and Pentax, Sony. Get on that, guys, and I'll be here in my room until then. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any other super fun camera gadgets and features that you would like to see on your future camera. Maybe we'll get the ball going on the life imitating art. And I'll see you guys in a couple days. Later.